Welcome. This is Yoga for Cancer, and I'm Rebecca, and I'm happy to see everyone today. And one more button I forgot to press, and there it is. Yay. All right. How is everybody doing? I feel as if we have hit yet another wall in this process. I don't know about in your house, but here everybody's on edge. Everybody is just, just ready for this to be over and for things to change. And I'm feeling it too, but also trying to stay very present and present with my practice and present with all of you. So let us take a moment to get grounded. We're going to talk a little bit about meditation today. And we'll do a practice. We'll do a meditation at the end, a little bit longer than we usually do. I just want to, explore that with this group. But we will also get our movement practice in. And it's great to see everybody. You've got some old familiar faces, and you are all very welcome. So take your comfortable seat, allowing the body to settle into place. Take a moment to really feel supported so that you can be wakeful and relaxed at the same time. Allow your eyes to close or take a soft gaze. When I say take a soft gaze, I just mean if you prefer not to close your eyes, then just look down a few feet in front of you and allow your eyes to soften and blur a little bit so that you're not necessarily seeing what's in front of you. You're just seeing, the space, I guess. But close your eyes if you prefer and allow the body to settle, feeling your points of connection with the earth, with the cushion beneath you or the chair or the floor, with your feet against the ground or your feet right on the floor. Feel the enormity of the earth beneath you. Sometimes having that moment of awe, of remembering that we are tiny players in this grand scheme is a comforting thing, because I remember that there's a whole universe out there. So feel your place in the universe. Feel the body settle and the breath help you to sit up taller, reaching up through the crown of your head like a plant reaches for the sun. Feel the strength in the inner body so that the outer body can be relaxed. Trying to stack your bones so your hips are at the bottom, and then your rib cage stacks above the hips, the shoulders, the whole shoulder girdle stacked above the rib cage, the head stacked above it all. If we are properly stacked in our bones, then the muscles can let go a little bit because the bony structure can hold us in place, allowing our organs to move freely, allowing the breath to flow. So take a moment now to feel your breath, noticing where you feel it first, and then following the breath all the way to the top of the inhale, pausing for just a moment, noticing the movement from inhale to exhale, and then following the exhale as the breath leaves the body. Where do you feel that? Notice for just a moment the transition from the exhale to the inhale. Stay with this breath pattern of just noticing the transitions, following the breath, and noticing those moments when it switches from inhale to exhale, from exhale to inhale. Stay with it. About 5 more breaths. And after the 5th breath or so, release that control and come back into your natural breath. And blink your eyes open if you'd like. So, meditation. When we begin any kind of meditation practice, a seated breath meditation or even a lying down guided meditation, the chatter in our heads suddenly becomes very loud and very obvious. Sometimes people think that the point of meditating is to silence those voices, to clear your mind. In the practice of mindfulness meditation that I teach, that is not the case. In fact, the point of this meditation is to begin to discern the thoughts and feelings that run like a monologue in our brains, to notice the thoughts, the emotions, and to label them. Last week, I think we talked about this drop in the ocean. But if not, I'll remind you that from my teacher, Yoganand, we learned that there is a vast ocean of consciousness. And from that state of oneness, a wave develops. And from that wave, a drop becomes free. The drop looks down at the ocean and says, wow. So who is the drop in this story? Who looks and says, wow? When we work with this labeling of thoughts and feelings that arise during our meditation, we begin to create a space between the thought and the thinker, between the emotion and the person feeling it. That space, the awareness that we are not our thoughts, we are not our feelings, allows us to observe and witness without getting caught up in the story. If we can notice our mind chatter, the very act of noticing creates a little space to observe. And it's the witness that does the noticing, just like the drop notices the ocean. That moment of space between having the thought and noticing that you've had a thought is the space of discernment, where clarity can begin to grow. We'll come back to this when we come to this longer meditation at the end of class. I just wanted to introduce some of these concepts. So now we're going to work with our alternate nostril breath, Nadi Shodhana. So we'll just take a few rounds, and I think most of you have done this with me before, but if not, you take 2 opposing digits, so maybe your thumb and your ring finger, or it could be 2 different hands, or thumb and pinky, whatever feels comfortable to you. We'll inhale together. In a moment, I'll lead you into it, and then we'll use the thumb to close the right nostril, and we'll exhale out of the left. Then we'll inhale on the left and switch. Closing the left, we'll exhale out of the right and inhale on the right and continue. Okay, I will lead you into this, but let's take a moment to go back into our breath. Eyes open, soft gaze, or closed. Begin to find the sensation of the breath in your body. Noticing where the inhale begins, following it. Noticing that moment when the inhale becomes the exhale. Following the exhale as it leaves the body. And then noticing that urge, that moment when the inhale begins again. Each breath is new. So stay with this inhale and exhale awareness, following the breath. And when you're ready, raise your right hand. Inhale through both of your nostrils, and then use your thumb to close your right nostril. Exhale out the left. Inhale on the left, and then switch. Use another digit to close the left nostril. We'll exhale out of the right, and inhale on the right, and switch. Exhale, inhale, and switch. Exhale, inhale, and switch. Stay with the pattern. Exhale, inhale, switch. Exhale, inhale, switch. Continue. Pay close attention to that switching moment. When you're switching between right side and left side. Take your time moving the breath from side to side. Let's take 5 more cycles of the breath. And after the 5th or so cycle, release your hands down and inhale through both nostrils. And just take a moment to notice if you feel any effects from this breathing pattern. Some people find it very focusing, and others find it soothing. Can something be focusing and soothing at the same time, perhaps? Let's continue together, raising arms for sun breaths, inhaling as arms float up, palms up. Exhale, turn palms down and softly lower the arms. And we'll continue a few more times. Inhaling up and exhaling down. 2 more. Connecting the movement and the breath. So it takes the whole inhale for arms to float up and the whole exhale for them to float down. Bring your hands behind you and switch the cross of your legs if you're sitting cross-legged. So the less habitual side is now in front. Bring your fingertips down to the mat on either side of your legs. Inhale to grow nice and tall. Exhale, begin to walk the right fingertips away from you, coming into a gentle side bend. Maybe you find a place to stop. Bring your hand flat onto the mat for support or the floor. Inhale in place and exhale. See if you can let your head be heavy. 1 more breath cycle here. And then on your next inhale, begin to walk fingertips back in towards your body, coming back to center. Inhale in place and then exhale and begin to tiptoe left fingertips away. Maybe the palm of your hand or even your forearm will come flat to the surface. Stay here. Next exhale, see if you can let your head be heavy. Inhale and begin to tiptoe fingers back to center. Let's do this 1 more time to each side. Tiptoeing right fingertips away. Find your stopping point, your edge, and then soften and release into that side bend. Use an inhale to come back to center. And exhale, creeping along till you find your edge, and then soften and let go. And slowly walk fingertips back to center. I'm going to remove my bolster so I can sit back a little bit. I'm going to scooch back so you can see me. Put my hands behind me and my feet out in front, as wide as my mat. From here, I'll inhale in place and then exhale and let my knees drop to one side. Inhale through center and exhale to the other side. My feet are wide enough apart so that when I drop my knee, it comes all the way to the mat inside where my other foot is. Let's see if that works for you. If not, stay with what feels comfortable. Maybe you'll keep dropping knees from side to side, or release your arm and come into a gentle twist, looking around behind you in the direction of your knees. Take your time, moving from side to side. And the next time that knees drop to the right, bring both hands to frame your right knee. Maybe you stay here, nice and upright, finding a long spine, or maybe you crawl the fingertips forward and come down to one or both of your forearms. See if you can still maintain a long spine, even in this deeper twist. If you feel any pain, please back up to the version before, maybe up on hands. Get long with each inhale and settle into the twist with each exhale. One more breath here. And next inhale, walk fingertips back, come back to sit up tall, and switch sides. Bring both hands to the ground to frame your knee. Maybe you stay here and work with getting nice and tall, or maybe you begin to scooch forward. Maybe it's comfortable. I happen to have my blocks right here. Maybe it would be comfortable to be on your blocks instead of on the floor. Try not to come into a round spine. See if you can keep lengthening the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. With each inhale, I'm pressing down and drawing back as if I could draw my heart forward between my arms. One more breath here. And then tiptoe back and come back to your seat, maybe extending legs out in front of you. Little tiny bounces, and maybe a little windshield wiper here. We're going to transition onto hands and knees. So I'll cross my legs and roll up onto my knees. I'm going to take this extra bit of mat to give myself some extra padding. Move my blocks out of the way, and I'll find my tabletop. Knees underneath my hips, hands underneath my shoulders, or maybe for you it's fists like this with thumbs pointing forward, or even coming down onto forearms. Again, the idea is to have the bones stacked so that the muscles don't have to work quite as hard. So finding a long spine in your tabletop, And then we'll move into our cat and cow practice. Cow comes first as we raise the tail and the crown of the head, softening in the belly. As we exhale, turn the tail down, draw the belly in, and let the head go. Inhale, raise your tail first, soften your belly, and reach up. Exhale and tuck. Belly comes in, release the head. Take your time moving through this cat-cow, this exploration of the state of your spine today. If this feels good, you can move side to side. You can drop one hip to your heels and then the other. You can stay with the cat-cow as we just learned it, or even make circles with your hips. Take the next minute or two to just explore, really taking the time to notice how you're showing up today, what's going on in the body. And when you are complete with this exploration, bring your knees a little wider, toes together, settle hips to heels, and come into a child's pose. Releasing the crown of the head down. And if the floor is far away, then try stacking your hands or your fists, or even taking the edge of a block or a cushion to support your forehead. Once you find your child's pose, take several breaths here, feeling the expansion of the back body. Can you breathe into your low back, into your side ribs, into the space between your shoulder blades? Each inhale creates space, and each exhale lets you release a little bit more in to the softness of child's pose. For some people, this is a resting posture, and for others, it's really quite a big stretch. So please support yourself in wherever you are today, taking extra support if you need it. We'll stay for 5 more breaths here. Big inhales into the back body, and exhale, softening and letting go. Take your time, and after the 5th or so breath, press back up through tabletop, grab hold of your blocks, and we'll come into some lunge work. So I'm using my blocks here. I'm on an angle so that you can see how my body's moving, and I'm going to step my left foot forward and place it between the 2 blocks. Then I can begin to rock forward and back. I'm opening up the front of my right hip and the back of my left leg. And again, these early movements are taking some inventory, noticing what's happening in the body today. And even noticing, how do I want to move today? And this or the next time that the hips come forward, make sure your knee is over your ankle and not coming past your toes. And then use one or both hands to rise up. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, draw elbows down, goddess arms. Inhale, press, open. And exhale, release, hands down. We're going to curl our back toes under and find a lunge. You can keep your knee down or lift it up like I am, pressing back through my heel. My front knee is over the ankle, and I'm finding a long spine reaching from my back heel all the way through the crown of the head. Stay here, or carefully step the back foot up to meet the front foot. Let your knees be bent so that your spine can stay long. My fingertips are on my blocks. And then I'll inhale and come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to scooch back so you can see me a little better. So we've come up to standing here. Let's inhale, raise arms up, and then begin to come forward with a long spine. Let your knees bend. Spine is long, reaching through the crown of the head. Hands come down to my blocks. I'm going to step the opposite leg back, my left leg, and find that lunge position. Pressing back through my heel, front knee is over or behind my ankle, so just not coming forward. Long spine, and then slowly I'll lower my back knee down. From here, I can rise up with one or both arms. Inhale, open. Exhale to goddess arms. Inhale, open here. Exhale, hands down to the blocks. And we'll just gently rock forward and back. And draw the front knee back to our starting position. We'll go through that one more time, adding on a little bit. Hands to blocks, stepping the left foot forward. Press your hips forward, knee is over the ankle, and rising up with one or both arms. Reach through your fingertips. This time we'll take a twist, turning towards the bent knee side. Inhale and come up, and then we'll twist away. Keep pressing this knee out so it stays over the ankle. Inhale back up. Exhale, hands to your blocks, curl back toes under, and find your lunge. Keep pressing back through the heel, long spine. This time we'll step the back foot up about halfway so that the heel can come down. My hands are on my blocks for support, and I'm trying not to open my hip. I'm trying to keep my hips nice and level here. The front knee can bend. If necessary, try to press the back heel down and get really long. This is pyramid pose. One more breath here. Exhale here, and then step the back foot all the way up, long spine. So you see I'm not rounded over. My back is long, and I'm doing that by bending my knees. And then I'll inhale and come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Pause for a moment to grab your breath. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, come forward, long spine, knees are bent, fingertips to blocks. We'll step back with the left leg and find the long lunge position. Slowly lower the knee down and draw the other knee back. So that's one cycle, and we'll do it one more time on the other side. So stepping right foot forward, inhale and come up. Exhale, twist, turning away or towards the bent knee, away from the camera. Inhale up and exhale away from the bent knee to the open side. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the blocks, curl back toes under and find your lunge. Get long, step the back foot about halfway up so that the heel can come down. The front knee can be bent if needed. Press down the back heel and think about drawing your left hip forward, your right hip back, long spine. One more breath here, and then step both feet Up, knees are bent, spine is long. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful, beautiful. Knee down, vinyasa. Move my props out of the way. We're going to work with a balance pose today. If you have blocks, grab them and bring them to either side of your feet. Actually, I lied. Bring one in between your feet. Move the other one out. Not going to work with eagle today, but we will work with our tree pose using the block. If you don't have a block, that's fine. You can just follow along, and you may still need some additional support, maybe touching a wall or hands on a sturdy piece of furniture, nothing that's going to tip. Take a moment and find your mountain pose. Really settle into your feet, feeling the feet connected to the earth. Imagine that you're sending roots down. Your trees, after all. Reach down through your fingertips and up through the crown of the tree. Your head, the crown, reaches up. Maybe bring hands to the top of your hips. From balancing on 2 feet, let's balance on 1 foot and shift just so slightly into the left. Release the right heel up. Knee is bent, toes are pressed down, and then turn out so that you can rest your heel on your block. Stay here. Maybe this is your tree pose, looking forward to find something on the horizon line that isn't moving, a focal point. Or maybe you'd like to bring the ball of your foot up onto your block, your heel coming towards your calf, or even onto the inner leg, above or below your knee. Boy, I do not have my words today. Wherever you find your foot position, press down, press in, feel connection. Stay here or inhale and reach for the sky, growing branches. Can you find that sensation of steadiness in the lower body and a buoyancy and openness, growth in the upper body? Reach. One more breath here. Exhale, hands through heart center. Bring 2 feet down. Snuggle into your block if you're working with it. And take a few breaths here. Eyes on your focal point. Get really still. Steady. Feel that sense of connecting into the earth. Drawing energy up from your roots. Begin to shift into the right leg. Don't take a big shift. It's a small shift because you still want to be up and over your leg. But then bend the left knee, turn out and rest the heel on the edge of the block. Stay here or lift up a little higher to the block or to the inside of your leg. Feel that connection as a real steadying force. Eyes on your focal point. Maybe the energy can rise with the breath and branches grow. There are beautiful trees outside of the windows on either side of my bookcase where I'm looking. And they inspire me. Staying with the breath for one more inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center, 2 feet down. Settle into both feet. Snuggle into your block. Stay strong. And maybe allow your eyes to close. What changes in your balance? If you feel wobbly, just blink the eyes back open. But maybe you can find a steadiness on your feet, finding your balance from the inside out. One more breath here. Exhale in place. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale to heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, open, and arms can always just come out wherever works for your body. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, last breath, and exhale back. Release your hands, release your legs, and move your blocks over to the side. Take a slightly wider step on your mat, maybe towards the edges of your mat. Toes are still pointing pretty much straight ahead, knees and toes in the same trajectory. Bring both hands to the tops of your hips. Inhale and grow nice and tall. Press your left hip away and exhale, lean towards the right. You can stay here, or if it would feel good to add an extended arm, please do. Try not to drop forward or back. Stay right up and over the feet, the hips. One more breath, and then we'll inhale through center and exhale, come back to the starting position. Inhale here. Exhale, press the right hip away, come up and over to the left. You can just use your body weight, or if the arm extended would feel good, go for it. Stay for a breath. Feel the balance of the weight in both of your feet. Inhale through center and exhale, both arms down, hands at the tops of your hips. Inhale here. Pressing the left hip away, we'll exhale up and over. Maybe add the top arm reaching. Maybe add the bottom arm reaching. Stay for a breath. Draw the belly in for support. Inhale up through center, and we'll go right to the other side. Press the hip away, come up and over. You can always bring the hand down if you need to. Reach. Inhale through center, and exhale, release, lowering both arms down. Shake out your legs. And let's make our way down to the mat. We're going to come all the way down to your back. So lower all the way down, rolling on to your back. Knees can be bent and feet flat on the mat. I'd like to work today with a concept called oscillation. It is actually a way of releasing all of the small muscles in the body that tend to be the grippers, and it also helps to move lymph through the body. We know that the lymph system does not have a pump. The major pump for lymph is actually the diaphragm. So when we do our nice full diaphragmatic breathing, that helps to move lymph through the body. But this oscillation movement also helps to move lymph. It's hard to explain. I'm going to get down and show you if you want to look towards your screen, or just listen to the words and see which instruction is more helpful to you. So here I am on my back. I think you can see me, I hope. I can't see me, but I hope you can see me. Arms are down at my sides, my knees are bent, my feet are on the mat. I might walk them just a little bit further away from my body. Now, I'm not going to slide on my mat at all, but I am going to press into my feet, and my body will move a little bit towards my head, and then I'm going to release that press, and my body will drop back towards my feet. It's a very subtle movement, but I'm going to show you. It's quick. Press, let go, press, let go, press, release, press, release. And you can see that while my clothes, my skin are pressed against the mat beneath me, my inner body is sliding a little bit back and forth. Does that make sense? So there's no friction, there's no movement on the outside, but there's movement on the inside as my bones slide inside the bag of my body. Sounds weird. Keep your head against the mat. My chin lifts and lowers just a little bit. My pelvis is sort of rocking a little bit. It's comfortable. It shouldn't be uncomfortable. Keep trying. Stay with it a few more movements. And then come to stillness. Walk your feet out a little wider and let your knees drop in towards each other to rest in constructive rest pose. Notice if you feel the vibration, the echo of that oscillating movement in the body. Now, when I teach this live in class, I can go around and kind of help you find the movement. It's not hard to do, it's just hard to find, I think. So afterwards, you'll tell me if you found this movement and what the experience was like for you. So we'll come back into it for one more pass. So bring your knees and feet hip distance apart. Try to relax the body down, hands down at your sides. And again, oscillate. Press, let go, press, let go, press, let go. You can go even faster. You can also go a little slower. It's harder to find, I think, if you go slowly. Because if you go just sort of that medium speed, you get this rebound effect, right? So you press and then letting go allows the body to rebound back. Just a couple more. And then come to stillness. Hug one or both knees in towards your center. You can hold one knee in each hand, maybe rocking side to side. Now, see if you can hold behind your knees or at your thighs and press your feet up towards the ceiling. They don't have to be straight. And shake them out. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, shake, shake. And then we're going to do 3 bends and a press. So bend, like drop your heels towards your bottom, drop, drop, and then press. Maybe you flex your heels up towards the ceiling. Drop, 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 and press, drop, 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 press, drop, 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 and press. And last 3 and press. Shake one more time. And slowly lower your legs back down. If it would feel good, take a mini Shavasana, extending both legs, both arms. And breathe in and out, allowing the front body to open, back body to release. And slide your heels back in, roll to one side and pause for a moment. And then press into fingertips and make your way back up. We're going to come into a seated position today for a seated meditation. So I'm grabbing my cushion. I'm grabbing my little extra bit of mat because that protects my ankles. And I'm going to come, for me, comfortable as a seated cross-legged position. Take a moment to find your comfortable position for a seated meditation practice. Allow the body to feel rooted and supported. so that you can be nice and upright, awake, and still relaxed. Feel the strength of the inner body reaching the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And then begin to soften around that center point, almost like a fountain, right? In the center of the fountain, the water is strong, pressing up towards the ceiling or the sky. And then the water flows down around the outside of that central spout. So relax the muscles of your face, your jaw, your neck and throat. Maybe you swallow once to release here. Feel your shoulders draping down. Arms are heavy, hands, palms down on your knees. This is a grounding gesture. Feel the strength of the inner body, but let the belly be soft and relaxed, receiving the breath. Release the hips. Let the legs be heavy. And feel the breath flowing through the body. Begin to notice where you feel the breath. Where do you notice the inhale? Where do you notice the exhale? When I say notice your breath, what is the sensation in the body that you feel? There's no right answer. There's just your answer. Noticing the breath. Can you stay with an entire breath from the moment inhale begins to the top of the inhale, the transition from inhale to exhale, and all the way to the end of the exhale, and the moment when the inhale begins again? Each breath is new. Each breath is sacred. Staying with a focus on the breath. When a thought occurs, notice that you're thinking. Label it, thinking. With great compassion and non-judgment, come back to the sensation of the breath in your body. Follow the inhale, follow the exhale. When feelings arise, notice that. Label the emotion with curiosity and compassion. Is it joy, fear, frustration? Don't get hooked by the story the emotion wants to tell. Just notice the sensation. Give it a label. Come back to the breath. Beginning to discern moments of thinking, moments of feeling. When you observe them, notice and label them, and come back to the breath. Again and again. returning to the breath. You may stay with a seated meditation or make your way into Shavasana to rest. Take your time. Remind me today to look up as well as down, in as well as out. Remind me that doubt and faith can coexist, that anxiety doesn't have to twist me into knots I can't untie. Remind me that everything in my life is infused with truth, that the illusion of my separateness won't last once I see through it. Remind me that this whole day is an opportunity to trust in unforeseen outcomes and the ultimate supremacy of love. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. If you're lying down, take your time and roll to one side, pressing into fingertips to bring yourself back up to sitting. We'll all bring palms together and rub our hands, making warmth throughout the palms and the fingers. And then stack one hand and then the other over heart center. Feeling that warmth, that love penetrate. Releasing hands down. We'll seal our practice with 3 chants of Om. 1 for the witness, 1 for the thoughts and feelings, and 1 for the community we create when we practice together, even separately. If you'd like to join bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other. Have a beautiful